Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Ask a Superstar. I am Jerry Strauss, and I am merely your conduit to some of your favorite stars of stage, screen, sports, and much, much more. This is your opportunity to get up and close with the coolest people on the planet, and we have one of them on the show this time out. She is here. You certainly remember her from the fond memories, the good old days of running up and down the beach in slow motion uh, during the heyday of Baywatch, and so many more things that she's done through her career. And we're going to talk about a whole lot of it here today. Erika Eleniak is here. How are you, Erika?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm good. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And look, for those of you who've followed us here to Ask a Superstar. Of course, the show, certainly with roots as 90s to now. Many of you have followed us here to the new platforms, and we thank you for it. You'll remember that Erika was on the show previously, part of a group conversation about the Baywatch documentary that had come out in Hulu last year, I believe.
Yeah.
And such a popular episode, such excitement around just the discussion about Baywatch and also just being able to talk to you that we knew that you would be a perfect person to come back here so we could get flooded with questions just
Aw,
for you.
well, thank you very much for having me.
Oh, no problem at all. I'm curious before we even get started.
Yeah.
That Baywatch documentary felt like kind of a landmark documentary as far as the world kind of looking back to the significance of a show like Baywatch. And now, of course, there's conversation about a reboot in the works and such. Um, how did that affect you as far as just sort of the buzz around the celebration of the work that you guys did
Yeah.
so back in those days?
It was exciting. I mean, it was really nice and I was really grateful for the opportunity to be able to speak on what really happened and how it was, what went down, how we worked, how everybody was together. It was a nice celebration, if you will, and then also to be able to have the opportunity to sort of set some things straight. And yeah, it was great. It was great. I was very happy for the opportunity.
That's awesome. And look, if there's any place where you can set some more things straight, it's going to happen right here because we
Right.
have a lot of questions from all over the map about all aspects of your career. I want
Okay.
to encourage all of you before we start, um, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is free, of course. You're here, but subscribe to the channel. Of course, it's at Ask a Superstar, and that will qualify you to be able to submit questions to us for all of the amazing guests that we have and are yet to come here on this show. So, with that in mind, keep helping us grow and keep helping us make our shows better with your questions as we are about to embark on this journey of getting up close and personal with Erika Eleniak. Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Um, let's start with uh, that's some basic stuff here.
Okay.
Um, and I'm going to try my best. I just want to say off the bat, I'm going to try my best to hit everything that everyone has asked. Some of these questions have been asked multiple times, so we may just kind of focus on either combining them or just focusing on whoever asked it first, et cetera, et cetera. We'll do the best with the names. We're going to do you guys right, so don't worry.
All
But
right.
here we go. I am a big fan of the film Girl in the Cadillac. It
Mm.
totally needs to be released on a collector's edition on Blu-ray or something. How was the experience making that movie?
That was a great movie. That was a little independent film, and we had so much fun. We worked with such a great cast, and because it was an independent film, we really got to have a lot of input in making that film, which was really nice. As actors, you don't always get that opportunity. And we had the opportunity to really give our input. I got to work with Valerie Perrine. She played my mom. We had a great cast, great people in it. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
Very cool. Storm King 93 would like to know, what do you remember fondly about your Baywatch days? That's a big question.
Okay. So my fondest memories of Baywatch are really the cast and the crew. We were just one big happy family, honestly, pranking each other and having each other's backs. Yeah, cast and crew.
Yeah. Are you the type of actor who does the work and moves on, or do you have a really strong recall of a lot of the lines and the nuances and the plot points that you were a part of back then?
It depends. It's sort of a gray area, that one. It's not across the board. It depends, first of all, how long ago. I mean, there's some projects that are 35 years old. And so it's like, I can't remember every line or what have you. But I think it depends too on, some projects are really, really dear to your heart. They're like your babies and really stick with you. Other ones are, Fast and Furious, and not the Fast and Furious, by the way, but just the way that they're filmed and shot, you're in and you're out and you move on. So it really depends. It's sort of a play by play.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Zando Comeder would like to know, does she get to keep prop replicas from her scenes? Talking specifically about Baywatch, we're talking about swimsuits or anything else that you played with on those beaches. Did you get to snag any of it?
Generally, no, you don't. I mean, sometimes you can be sneaky, or other times you can ask if it's something that's very special to you. But usually those things are kept for reshoots, future shows. So those things are really not allowed to be taken.
Okay. Feeling Dust 5059. My question, as someone who is a famed beauty and the mother of a daughter, what lessons about beauty and appearance have felt important for you to pass on?
That's a great question. And my daughter is 19. So for myself, I know I've struggled with self-confidence and being insecure over the years. And, watching a daughter go through the same things as well, it's to be as comfortable in your skin as possible and to not care what other people think, to just be comfortable with yourself. And what makes true beauty, comes from the inside. So I think it's being as self-confident with who you are, regardless of what other people say, because with social media today too, it's very different. Yeah, it's a lot harder in some respects.
Can you imagine the scrutiny, the inevitable scrutiny of being on a weekly TV show in your bathing suit each and every week with social media? No matter how hard you work, no matter how you look,
No,
there's there would be so much to deal with, right?
so much backlash. One where you couldn't win that. Whether you did or you didn't, whatever happened, it never would go well. Yeah,
Mm,
social media is brutal.
mm. Fun. Fun Mess 348. What is your favorite episode of Baywatch Nights?
I didn't watch the show.
Mm.
So with all due respect, I did not watch Baywatch Nights. Yes. So I
Okay.
don't really have an answer for that one.
Did you feel sort of a disconnection with sort of that Baywatch world? Anything that happened once you were no longer a part of Baywatch? Did it just kind of all, because I think for some of us, no matter what line of work we're in, we leave a job of some sort, and sometimes you have that instinct to keep up with things
Yeah,
and to see what's going on, and sometimes you have the instinct of, I never want to see or hear about those people or that thing again.
right. It definitely was not that. But I was busy.
Mm.
So after Baywatch, I went and, on to other, sorry, I'm losing my light here. I went on to other projects. And so I was just busy, just keep going, right? Keep moving. But I've stayed in touch with some of the cast members over the years. There were many things about the show. The show became popular, actually. I was already gone by the time the show hit overseas and became popular. So
Mm.
it was actually difficult to feel disconnected from it also on one level, because it was, coming here to the States, like everybody was so over the moon about it by the time it got overseas. And I was already off the show, but they were just airing our shows. So it was really, it was kind of a bizarre situation.
Mm. Okay. Um, South Monitor 6992. Does she still keep in touch with her Baywatch co-stars?
So yes, some of them, yeah, and some of the people that I stay in touch with, actually, I didn't even work with on the show, which is funny. That by the time I was gone, they came on the show, as I said. So yes, but I do keep in touch with some of the co-stars.
Was there sort of a feeling of reconnecting, or maybe connecting with different Baywatch alumni through all of the press and the fanfare around the documentary?
Absolutely, absolutely. The events, shows, there's comic cons too, where you'll run into each other, and so I think a lot of those events have sort of put us back together.
That's very cool. That's what your fans want to hear. They like to think you guys are all living happily ever after and hitting the beach once in a while. Uh,
Right.
Intelligent Quit 3128 would like to know what are her favorite episodes of Baywatch and which actor was the funniest behind the scenes?
That's a great question. A lot of funny people on Baywatch. I would say my favorite episode was the Gilligan's Island episode. That was just the most fun to shoot. Had a blast, and getting to work with Bob Denver and Don Wells was just amazing. It was like a very surreal. And the funniest person, gosh, Billy Warlock was really funny. David Hasselhoff was very funny, always pranking. We had a lot of pranksters on set, so that's a tough one.
Okay. Let's see. Mark Baldwin would like to know, is Gary Busey as crazy as he seems? I met him online and he was nice to me, but he was a bit eccentric. I actually do not like it when people gang up on him on
Yeah.
reality shows or criticize his personality. So what,
Yeah. Gary he is such a big heart. He's a lot of energy. Gary has a lot of energy.
yeah.
So I think that comes off as wild or, eccentric to people sometimes, but he's got a lot of energy. He's sort of like a live wire. So I think that's the way that I see it with Gary. He's got a huge heart. He's a wonderful person.
We're all just jealous. We're jealous of people with
Right.
energy faces.
Right. Me too.
Juggernaut 4820, what do your tattoos mean?
Oh, we don't have enough time for that. They all mean something, every single one of them, and I've got a lot of tattoos. So I do have one that is for my mom. My mom passed away 4 years ago, and so one is a memoriam for her that says it's a beautiful flower. Her name was Iris, so it's an iris, and it says free, and it has an orange butterfly. I have a guardian angel. I have my daughter on my back, her face. It's a beautiful portrait. So I've got a lot. They all mean something, but those are some of the main ones.
Cool. Ty Diamond, has she been approached for the reboot? And what is a lesson from her time on the show that she hopes is practiced on the reboot? That's an interesting one.
That is an interesting question. There's been a lot of rumors about reboots, and not just one. There have been a few reboots rumored to be coming around, and nothing ever really comes of it. So what was the second part of that question?
Well, what is a lesson from her time on the show that she hopes is practiced in the reboot? So I think maybe the question could be reframed as like, what are some things that you feel as an observer and a participant from the old show that they might adjust in the
Right.
in a new version?
Yeah. Well, that's a really difficult question because today the show would be so different than the show was then. There's
Hmm.
just no way that they would do the same show in today's environment, the temperature of today. It was, an eye candy montage, very risque show. And I think that today it would be difficult to do a show like that and not get yourself into hot water. So there are some things that would be done differently. I think in that department, they would have to take more care um, on how they portrayed certain things.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I would imagine it would be disclaimer city, not
Yes.
just for all those politically correct aspects and just the way that the visuals were presented, but also um, as far as just the simulated accidents and the way that drunken people falling into the water, like
Right.
anything that was questionable behavior that they wanted to make sure that they weren't encouraging I
Right.
feel like it would be one big disclaimer.
One big disclaimer. Absolutely. I think it would be a difficult show to do today. It really, really would. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if they ever do a reboot, how that gets done.
Would I mean, the inevitable question, if that were to happen and if there was an opportunity for you to be a part of it, is that something you would be open to?
I would be open to it. Absolutely. It would certainly depend on so many things, right? What would the character be? What would the role be? But I would be open to it. Absolutely.
Cool. Cool. That's all your fans can ask, just stay open. Um, I love pencils. What has brought you the most satisfaction in your career so far?
That's a great question. I think the diversity of my career. I've been blessed to have had a lot of different opportunities to play a lot of different characters. And
Mhm.
I'm really grateful for that. Really grateful. I've got to play some characters with some real grit and not so glamorous, which has been really fun. I got to play some character, caricature type of characters. And yeah, so I think the diversity of the career has made me very proud.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Also awesome. We heard from a gentleman, a very big fan of yours. I hope I'm going to pronounce this right. I believe his name is Damo or Damo.
Okay.
And this gentleman has reached out and explained to us that he is doing a great job of battling his former demons. He has been alcohol free, celebrating an anniversary. So, this is an anniversary of his sobriety. And he has gotten a lot of support from the entertainment world. A lot of his favorite people he's been able to connect with. They've been able to send him these messages of encouragement. And he had asked, we talked about this before, about whether you might be willing to be on that list. So
Yes.
Damo,
To Damo, let's see if you can see this. There we go. How about that? Well done, Damo. Congratulations. Keep going, man. Keep it up. You're doing awesome.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much for reaching out to us. We as a collective, Erika, myself, everyone who's watching and listening to this, feeling very proud, feeling very excited for
Yeah,
you, and
absolutely.
we know you're going to keep killing it. So
Yeah.
thank you for connecting and inspiring. Speaking of inspiring, this is some old school inspiration because a bunch of people, and I grouped them together, but a bunch of people wrote in the form of an old school letter to
Oh,
you in
nice.
submitting there. And we're really encouraging, by the way, guys, everything, communicate to us any way you want, whether you want to hit us up on social or you want to shoot an email over to me. Of course, we've been promoting that as the way to submit your questions for our guests. Also, videos. If you guys would like to record videos of yourself asking questions in the future, please do that as well. But this is from, this is going to be an interesting one to pronounce. I believe their name is Elcio. Dear Jerry, I hope this message finds you well. I feel like I should be doing this in the Casey Kasem voice, and that is going to age me immediately by saying that. Um,
Good old
I would
Kate.
like I would like to ask Mrs. Eleniak, what were her main influences in acting, please? I think she's a natural born actress and she transmits a solid veracity to the audiences. Who were her influences for being such an awesome actress? Thank you very much, Elcio Filho.
What a wonderful question. I have always loved and admired Jenna Rollins. I think that she is a phenomenal actor, and she left us too soon. But I love Jenna Rollins. I love Lucille Ball. I think Lucille Ball was just a comedic genius. Just love, love, love. Still love watching her today, and love watching the old I Love Lucy shows. So I would say those two people were people that I looked up to a lot.
Is that you've done comedy obviously in your
Yeah.
career? Is that something you have aspirations at some point to focus on again?
I don't know. Comedy's hard. It's really, really difficult to do good comedy. But I would love to. I think there's a lot more to be explored in the world of funny. So, yeah.
Can never have too many laughs in this
You can
world.
never have too many laughs. That's the truth.
Hello, Erika. Oh,
Why?
hello, Erika. Do you recall on Beverly Hillbillies working with the Casey D. Bear? My wife was your stunt person. I was the head bear trainer. My wife never got a chance to talk to you due to the rush on set. But could you give us some insight on working with the bear and other animals? This is from Nicholas Toth, the animal coordinator and trainer that was a part of that experience. Do
That's so
you
cool. Hi, Nicholas. Thank you for the question. I do remember, I remember working with all the animals on that show. I had different experiences with all the animals. I remember working with the bear, beautiful bear. Unfortunately, I wasn't really allowed to get too close to the bear. Um, each animal was different and had their own, protocols with their trainers and what, you were allowed to do and what you weren't. And some I had to practice with, and others I was just in and out really quick. And the bear was one of them where they just really didn't let me get too close to the bear. But thank you to your wife for making me look so good. I appreciate it. And for getting close to the bear. I wish I could have. I remember working with the raccoons and the deer. And yeah, I've got stories about all the animals.
That experience sounds absolutely terrifying. You wish you could have gotten closer to the bear.
Yeah. Well, I remember one scene was I had jumped in the cold water. That water was so cold. And I was supposed to come swimming out of the pond and grab this little secret food that was behind a bush and come out and just like naturally feed it to the deer that was standing by. And as I was swimming out of the water, I heard this really high pitched noise. And I figured out it was coming from the deer, and it probably wasn't a good thing. So, but the cameras were across the pond. And once you're doing a water sequence too, you don't want to stop if you don't have to, because you have to dry off all over again and start all over again. So here I was in this situation, and I kept going to that deer with the food in my hand, and the deer reared up and started picking at me, and they're yelling cut across the pond, and the trainers are coming running out of tents and hiding places, and it was especially frightening that day. Yeah.
I can't even imagine. But
Yeah.
we are uncovering the badass side of Erika. Recently watched the film Snowbound on the Tubi platform. It was very good, and I love the twists and turns. Great job in it. Was it a tough shoot filming in the dead of winter?
Yeah, always tough shooting, in the elements, and we were definitely in the snow. So it's definitely when you're outside and it's freezing, it takes its toll, and also it can affect your speech, of course, your movements when you're really freezing. So yeah, it was difficult. It was definitely difficult.
Lately, lots of big stars are getting huge recognition for their work in indie films, such as Demi Moore in The Substance, Pamela Anderson in The Last Showgirl, etc. Why do you think indie films are finally being taken seriously, not just by fans, but also by the industry?
Well, I think that over the years, they've been taken more seriously. And I think that thank goodness for indie films, because it gives everybody an opportunity to make films, to make great art. And it's not such a closed club like big studio movies. And, it's really hard to get into that part of the industry for a lot of people. And so I think indies make it accessible to everyone to shoot. You can shoot a movie on your iPhone now, and some great work has been done that way. So I think it's opened the doors for everybody.
Absolutely. Let's see. If you could talk with Erika at 16 years old, what would you tell her? And what would a 16-year-old Erika tell you right now in your life?
Interesting. Well, I would tell the 16-year-old Erika to not be so afraid, or to feel the fear and do it anyway, because I let fear make a lot of decisions.
And that's coming from someone who just moments ago was talking about fighting wild deer and facing bears and jumping in
Yeah.
freezing water. But
Yeah.
yes.
I would tell her not to be so afraid, because I think I sat on the sidelines a lot and I missed a lot of opportunities based on fear. So I would tell her to relax more and to just, honestly, I hate to say this because it's so cliche, but have fun with it. I would say that, to just turn that fear into excitement, and just relax a little bit more. And what would she tell me? The 16-year-old Erika might say to give her more love. I think maybe to give herself more hugs and more to help her with her self-confidence.
That's great.
Just be more present.
That's great. Going back to the first part, I'm just curious, when you talk about sort of trying to push past those fears, do you feel that affected you more in your professional life or in your personal life, or both?
Both. Absolutely both.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's a very common thing. I think we can all look back and think about things that we hesitated on pulling the trigger on, and why didn't we just do that thing?
Yeah. Yeah. Jerry, hang on one small second. I'm so sorry. Indy?
Sure.
Jack's going to break the door down. Can you just let him out? Sorry, my dog has literally been banging the door down, and I just watch him, and he's crying. So
no, I was terrified. I thought that was your 16-year-old self knocking on the door.
That's right. It was me. Help me.
All right. We've totally lost. I've lost my place.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. That's just my mental state these days. Here we go. Romelo Ramon. Romelo.
Okay.
First time in my life I've heard the name Romelo.
Romelo.
I would love to have the name Romelo. Yeah.
A great name, yeah.
That's a great name. Hi, Erika. When you did the 2003 movie Betrayal, also known as Lady Jane Killer, what's your favorite thing about playing Emily Shaw in the film?
I got to work with James Remar in that film, and that was really great. He's a great actor, and he's someone I've always admired. I've admired his work for a long time. So that was really fun for me to be able to play opposite James Remar in there. Cool. In the filming.
We're going to go back a little bit further now. What was it like doing the film E.T. the Extraterrestrial and working with Henry Thomas? Now, I want to make a confession because I like to be transparent about these things.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I have never seen E.T. in my life. I'm like the only person in the United States, or probably on the planet, who has never seen E.T.
Wow, okay.
So when this question came in, somehow it escaped me that you were actually a part of this film. And so my initial thought was, oh man, this person thought that is mistaking Erika for Drew Barrymore, and we're going to have to address this on the show.
Right.
And then, of course, I looked into it and I realized, oh my God, you, in addition to everything else you've done in your career, you were in E.T. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, that was an amazing thing to be a part of. I was only 12. It was 1982. I was 12 years old. And I remember it well. It was great. So working with Henry Thomas. Well, Henry Thomas was in a girl haters club. And,
wait, how old was he at the time?
He was 10.
Okay.
It was perfectly appropriate. It was perfect timing. Mm-hmm. And, when we had to do the kiss, it was very nerve-wracking. Both of us were very sort of nervous about doing it. I remember crying, and Steven Spielberg had come to talk to me and my mom to put our minds at ease and let us know that the set would be closed. So that meant that, nobody would be on set except for only the people that had to be there to film. So it was an amazing experience all the way around.
Yeah. Personal question. Don't have to answer it if you don't want.
Sure.
In your mind, was that your documented first kiss?
No, it wasn't. I was 12 and I'd had pecks on the cheek before, and I counted. Okay. I counted.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah. But my first, I guess it was, but it's hard to think of it that way because it's so impersonal.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
of
know,
course.
your mind is not, oh my gosh, this is my first kiss ever. And you're not, at least, you know, you're not really thinking of it in terms of certainly not romance, whether you're
No,
or not. You're just so terrified that people are going to be looking at you and watching you and getting it right. And so that your mind is in such a different place. You don't really think of it like that.
of course. And plus your scene partner is in the girl haters club and 10 years
Right.
old, and it's probably just like, ew, I have to kiss a girl. Like
Right. Yeah,
as we all were. But
absolutely.
um hi, Erica. Just saw your video on Instagram. Of course, thank you so much. Of course, you popped on social media to invite your fans, ours, your followers to send in all these great questions. So thanks to you and thanks to all who responded.
Yeah,
My name is Gabor. I live in France, and I knew you when I was a kiddo in Hungary and used to watch Baywatch. I presume knew of you. I don't think you guys knew each other personally.
right.
My question would be more like behind the scenes related. Can you explain how those underwater scenes were filmed? Talking
Sure.
about Baywatch. When you had to run into the ocean, go under the water, was it in a pool or a real ocean?
Right. So we did everything. We filmed in pools, we filmed in the ocean. Then finally they built a warehouse so that they could have their own stage with a water tank.
Mm,
So we really did everything. The underwater stuff where you needed to see the action under the water had to be done in a pool because you can't see in the murky ocean water.
yeah.
So we used everything.
Mm. That's that's probably another huge way that a reboot would be different. I'd imagine there'd be an implementation of some level of CGI to all that these
Absolutely.
days.
Yes, absolutely.
You guys were just stuck getting being wet all week long.
Yep, pretty much.
How could you guys run into this ice cold water? I remember when I traveled to LA and I went to Huntington Beach. It was early September. The water was literally ice cold, impossible to run into it after being on the very hot beach. So, yeah, I'm interested to know how those water scenes were filmed, how you actors were prepared, and how did you live? How did you survive it? Thanks. Take care. Gabor.
This is a great question, Gabor. Thank you. You know, we did it. We really did it. There was one day that Billy Warlock and I were in the water, and the footage, our lips were so blue and we were so cold that they really couldn't use the footage. It was supposed to be a hot day. You're supposed to look hot and sweaty. So then they would spray you with a water sprayer to look sweaty, and it's freezing outside and you're getting sprayed with cold water, and then to run into that water and look like, you know, it's hot outside, and you know, the elements, the sun is shining, and it's 100 degrees outside, and then to run into that cold water that's 50 degrees, and to play a part. You know, you're not just running in and out, you're doing action, you're speaking as an actor, you're running out and continuing on. So it was not easy to work with the elements. It never is easy when you're working with the elements.
Yeah, you've clearly done an awful lot of it throughout your career.
Yeah.
And you'd still go back. You'd still go back to Baywatch if the scenario were right.
Not
That's a trooper.
necessarily in the water in a bathing suit, though. That's what I mean by the role. It would depend on the role.
Oh, you're getting a desk job.
Yeah, it's a desk job. Exactly.
All right. Well, as far as everyone who reached out to us, thank you all so much. We're going to wrap it up with one more letter from Joachim Zjoland. I'm mangling that, I know. I apologize for that, Joachim. Hello, Jerry. Here are two questions for Erika Eleniak. Hi, Erika.
Hi.
Question number one. What are some of your hobbies or passions that we fans might not know about?
Okay. I love being outside. I love bird watching. I love hiking. I love reading. I read all the time. I have to read every day. So yeah, those are some things I love to do.
Okay. And final question. Can you name four destinations? That is strangely specific. Can you name four destinations that you haven't been to yet but would like to visit? Thanks in advance. Have a nice Sunday afternoon, and presumably all your other afternoons as well.
What a lovely question. I have not been to Italy yet. I would love to go to Italy. I would love to go to France. I would love to go to Scotland, and I would love to go to Ireland. I'm actually going to be in Scotland soon in the next few months, so I'm excited about that. I can mark that one off, cross that one off the list. Yes, but those are 4 places that I would love to go.
Excellent, excellent. And look, again, we thank everybody who reached out to us through social media. You reached out on Reddit. You sent in your emails. We want you to get at us any way you can to send in these questions for these amazing guests that we're lucky to have, like Erika. Erika, I want to ask you. We're gonna start a tradition here. We've already been easing into it, but I want to finish off every conversation on this show with one common question that we'd like to ask our guests, and we will ask our guests from here on. Everything you've done, all the different types of movies and TV shows and everything that you've done, what's something out of the box that maybe nobody would ever guess that you've always secretly wanted to do, a specific kind of role, a specific kind of project that you would secretly or not so secretly like to make happen in your career?
I think it would be interesting to play a character that was really, really down on their luck. Really, really down on their luck. Coming from, financial instability, being alone, having no one, nothing. I think it would be really interesting to play a character like that.
Okay. We are going to manifest this. We're going to will this into the world.
All right.
It sounds like the only thing you haven't done. So I'm sure it's coming sooner rather than later. Thank you
very much, Jerry. Appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everyone for checking us out. Of course, follow us on social and subscribe to all of our platforms here on YouTube, especially at Ask a Superstar. And until next time, thanks for joining us, and be with us more and more again and again. Thanks, guys.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.